Hello, everybody. My name is Jesus Bermea. Today we'll be going over the leadership pill. Some important aspects that I do want to review with this book is that leadership tells a lot of different stories. The most important thing is the leadership definitely is a fictional pill that you think that that's what the main book's about, but at the end of the day, it's actually one important missing ingredient, and that's something that a lot of leaders miss is the motivation, the commitment to an organization, a staff. You could be partially in, and then you could be all in. And I think your team definitely understands um, when you have that leadership pill and when you don't take that leadership pill. And I think that this is a great book. And we're going to start with the biggest lesson I learned. And I think I learned it in the military, and I think I learned it over this book, which is great. And it's the importance of integrity. A good leader doesn't just tell people what to do, they do it themselves. When a leader's actions match their words, it definitely motivates you as a team member. I think that the biggest example is, when our top sergeant that had been in for 20 years, he started throwing sandbags and doing stuff himself when he didn't have to. He could have delegated that type of responsibility, but us younger NCOs and lower enlisted see the older leadership doing things that's above and beyond leadership. That's what it inspires the next generation to look up to leadership instead of to, I guess the word would be envy or not want to work as hard for somebody that doesn't value you. I think the book is also about affirmation, which means recognizing and encouraging others. Every person has the ability to notice the good in someone. I think not giving the appropriate praise, I think that that's a lot of people work hard because they expect a little bit of praise, and doesn't matter what they do. As a leader, just telling them, hey, you did a great job, proud of you, continue the hard work. You'd be very amazed of how far that can go, especially in today's society. We don't want to give people their flowers or reward them, but I think a good leader definitely should praise, but not overpraise, because then the praise becomes almost unauthentic, and it's not as meaningful when we're constantly praising. But I think there's definitely times as a leader that you definitely want to praise your team, praise your guys, let them know they're doing a great job. Another lesson I found interesting is that leaders need refuel. The book says you will go a lot further if you stop to refuel. This reminds us that everyone has life outside of school and work. Taking breaks, managing stress, staying healthy, motivated, productive over the long term. The book warns against bad, misleading leadership where leaders use pressure, fear, control. In the army, we had some guys, some leaders that would threaten to take away our weekend passes, and just a lot of things where we didn't want to work as hard because all they wanted to do was input fear, and they didn't want to really truly care about their soldiers. And I think in any organization, whether it's sports, Fortune 500, you got to care about your team, and they got to see that you care. This shows us that treating people well is not only the right thing to do, but it's also better for long-term success. Let's finally go into what leadership really means. And I think it's the process of helping everyone get where they're supposed to go. The highest achievement of a leader is not having the most power, but earning the trust and respect of the team every day. One quote that stood out to me: people will think for themselves when you quit doing it for them. I think this means that great leaders don't control every decision. Instead, they help others become confident, independent, and responsible. Overall, I definitely enjoyed the leadership pill. It's about integrity, partnership, motivation, encouragement, trust. I think these lessons can be used not only in the workplace, but in school, everyday life. I think it comes back to, just having integrity and doing the right thing. And if your team can see that, they're going to follow you. If they see that you have bad intentions, they're not going to follow you. They're not going to be fully invested. You have great leaders. Um, like what we saw with the Patriots organization with Bill Belichick, a great leader. Everybody followed suit. It started to become more military, but he had good intention and he praised when he needed to praise, but he was very tough on his staff and I think when they know that you care, I think that that definitely goes a long way. We could even talk about Nick Saban in Alabama when he talks about the details and making sure all his staff understood that he cared about them. He made sure that they get all the medical treatment that they needed. And I think that the University of Texas head coach used to be under Saban, and he got his life saved because Saban was thinking outside of football, had him do a medical check, and now he's still alive today because Nick Saban, the head coach of Alabama, definitely thought about his team, thought about their health, and I think that's what great leaders do. And this leadership pill reminds us that we got to humble ourselves, take that pill, and make sure that we're motivated for our team, not just for ourselves, but for our family, our friends, and for Jesus Christ. And I want to thank you for this book review and look forward to talking with everybody later in this semester. Thank you.